Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to week 4. Just wanted to talk a little bit this week about what we'll be covering. You may have noticed that your book is divided into 2 parts. You have the individual chapters and the corporate chapters. And so weeks 1 through 3, we covered the individual chapters in the textbook, and weeks 4 through 6, we're going to cover the corporate chapters. So you may be confused by seeing chapter 1, 2, and 3, but just make note that it is the corporate chapters, okay, not the individual chapters. So the book is divided into 2 parts. So week 4, we're going to start to explore taxation of corporations. We're going to begin by exploring tax research. Chapter 1 starts the coverage of tax research. We're going to distinguish between closed fact and open fact situations. A closed fact means basically the facts have already occurred. They're in the past, and we really can't change anything about them. Open fact tax situations mean basically that you are able to plan for the taxes so that you can make smart decisions about whatever transaction you are thinking of engaging in. So it hasn't occurred yet. It's in the future, it's coming in the future, and so you have the opportunity to do some tax planning. In an open tax situation, you have the opportunity to make decisions so that it benefits you tax-wise. And so as a tax preparer, it's important that we consider certain things when we plan for a tax situation. Taxes don't just have to happen to you. You can think about what you're doing and structure transactions in a way that it minimizes the taxpayer's after-tax return. And you can think about what the tax ramifications are to all the stakeholders. Consider other costs of doing business, any changes that might be coming in the tax law, and consider also financial accounting implications of your transaction. So when you're doing research, the first thing you have to do is determine the facts. You may need to gather additional information, and then you need to identify the issue. What's the question? What is the problem? And then next, you will want to locate the applicable authorities and then evaluate the authorities and choose those to follow where there is a conflict between the authorities, which one has the priority. And then analyze the facts in terms of those applicable authorities, and then communicate your conclusions and recommendations to the client. So when you're doing taxes, one of the most important things that you do is tax research. And so it's very important to know how to do good research because as a tax preparer, if any of you are considering going into tax preparation, your clients are going to come to you and want you to help them structure transactions in a way that benefit them tax-wise, legally benefit them tax-wise. You know, we're not required to pay any more taxes than is legally required, and it's perfectly fine and expected that you will structure your transactions in a way that minimize the tax impact. So the next chapter we're covering this week is chapter 2, corporate chapter 2, and we'll be talking about different organizational forms. You may be familiar with some of this from some of your other courses, but we have sole proprietorships, partnerships, limited liability partnerships, limited liability corporations, and corporations. And so we'll just be talking about some of the advantages and disadvantages of those particular forms of business. We'll be looking into legal requirements and tax considerations that would be related to corporate formation. And then finally, we are going to conclude the module with computation and calculations of deductions, corporate taxable income, and corporate taxable tax liability. Okay, so we'll be going through corporate taxation, and here you can see the general rules for determining tax liability or income tax. So just as the individual taxation has a formula that you learned, corporate taxation has a similar type of formula. We're starting with gross income. We're going to subtract deductions and losses. This will give us taxable income before any special deductions, and then we'll subtract the special deductions. This gives us taxable income. We multiply that by the corporate tax rate, and this gives us our regular tax before credit and other taxes. Then we subtract any foreign tax credit and possessions tax credit. This will give us our regular tax. We can subtract any other tax credits we might have. Sometimes we have to add back in the recapture of any previously claimed tax credits. Again, that just depends on the facts of the situation. And then finally, that will lead us to our income tax liability. And then we will continue with that. This is for the alternative minimum tax for corporations. So just as you learned about alternative minimum tax for individuals, we have the same thing with corporations. So this chapter is going to break down the calculations and computations of those types of deductions and credits and bring you to the tax liability. All right, so that is week 4, and we're covering corporate chapters 1, 2, and 3. Just to recap, the PowerPoint slides are located in the overview. You'll be working on study plan number 4 in My Accounting Lab. It will cover these 3 chapters as well as chapters from next week. And then you'll complete homework number 4 in My Accounting Lab, and also quiz number 2 is due at the end of week 4. Okay, I think I said next week, I meant the previous week. Okay, the study plans. Study plans typically cover all of the chapters that are in the quiz. Okay, so for example, quiz 1 covered modules 1 and 2. Quiz 2 covers modules 3 and 4. So the study plan you're working on would include chapters from module 3 and module 4 to help you prepare for the quiz. But, you know, remember, again, you don't have to do the study plan. Yes, it is a prerequisite for the quiz, but remember, your homework updates the study plan. So as long as you have completed the homework to at least a 75%, that should update your study plan and unlock the quiz for you. The study plan really is in place for you if you are struggling with a concept or you just want a little more practice before you take the quiz. Or, you know, if you can't get your homework to 75%, then the study plan is there as a tool for you to use to help you master the concepts that you're struggling with, so that you can go on and take the quiz. So I just encourage you to work on the homework first, okay? But again, if you are struggling and you don't want to use your 3 attempts on the homework, go to the study plan because it's unlimited, okay? So, you know, however you want to do it, it's just important that you understand how it all works. You get 3 chances on the homework. The study plan is unlimited chances. You can just keep practicing and practicing and practicing. The study plan is going to cover all of the chapters that are in the quiz that you're taking. Okay, so For quiz 1, it's module 1 and 2. For quiz 2, it's module 3 and 4. And for the last quiz, it would be modules 5 and 6, okay? You have to make 75% on the homework. That will unlock your quiz, okay? If you can't get to 75% or you just want to practice, maybe you don't want to waste your attempts on the homework, you can practice with the study plan, okay? So the study plan is your friend. Use it as a tool to help you prepare and do better on the quizzes, all right? So good luck, everybody, this week. I will see you in the discussion. Have a great week.